Hello there. I am freshly back from a Norwegian cruise that went to Cuba and Coco Cay, Bahamas. And so I wanted to do kind of a quick rundown and share of that because so many people have asked a lot of questions about it and have had some curiosity about Cuba and about the cruise and different things. And so I do have a lot of videos that if you follow along with my blog, you can see and that will give you different things about the cruise and about the cruise ship. So I kind of want to just do some quick highlights about what you can find on here. But so when I had done this cruise, it was of the Norwegian, and we took the Norwegian Sky was the actual ship. This is actually another ship, a ship I'd cruised on years and years ago with another, I think it was probably 8 or 9 years ago. It has been redone, thank goodness. I do remember that the stabilizers were out in this cruise ship at one point. And so Norwegian, good job, they are fixed. I didn't see people sliding. It was great. But so I then flew from here to Fort Lauderdale to start my whole cruise journey. The best thing about it is, so when I flew into Fort Lauderdale, there were groups of people coming from different places. And so I was actually meeting my friend Shannon in Fort Lauderdale. And so she wasn't landing for after an hour and a half or something. So I literally I had nothing but time once I landed there. So flew into Fort Lauderdale, get there, put in my AirPods. I was listening to a great book. Patty, I was listening to the Maeve Binchy book that you sent me. It's a really long book. But I put it in. I go get my bag. There's a Starbucks. It's hilarious. It's an extremely long line. One of the longest lines I've ever seen before. And so I thought, well, I have nothing but time. So I literally stood there very patiently and I got a coffee and I went and sat outside for a bit. And I remember this whole gang of TSA people ran by, but it was weird. I thought, what are they doing, calisthenics or something? It was just odd. And I just was in my own little world doing my thing, waiting for Shannon to land. And so at one point then when it was getting close to when time to land, I walked back up into the airport, kind of at the end of the security that I wouldn't have to go back through. To kind of wait for her. And as I'm sitting there, she texted and said she just landed. And I said, oh, She said, is the airport on lockdown? I look around, I'm like, I don't think so, no. And so I asked the lady next to me, and I noticed it was a unique area in the airport, and it was crowded, but I have no idea. I didn't pay attention. And I said, ma'am, excuse me, is this airport on lockdown? She goes, oh yeah, it has been for hours. Well, there was a bomb threat, and nobody could come or go in or out of the Fort Lauderdale airport, and I was 100% oblivious to it. So that's why many people that are near and dear to me say that I need a handler, because I had no clue that the airport's on lockdown because I just went about my business. So have learned from this that I should probably keep one earbud out or AirPod out at all times to find out what's going on around me. So anyway, from there we basically, you have to get to the port of Miami, and so there's so many different ways to do it. We stayed, I think, in Fort Lauderdale, and then took a shuttle the next day to the port. If I remember correctly, I don't even remember which order it was, but so then we boarded the ship in Miami, and it was a great 5-day 4-night cruise, and so I think that's right. We took off from Miami, and our first port of call was Cuba, and it was very interesting. I will say that anytime you do a cruise, there is always I call it your mustard station, which is your safety briefing. And Norwegian, somebody needs to go out there and stand out there in that beating down sun for 25 minutes as you go on and on and on, and then talk about stuff that could have totally been said at other times. So I was disappointed in the cruise on that one. The muster station is never a fun time of when you have to line up and do all that. I obviously know it's for safety, but there has to be some better way of doing it, especially when it is extremely hot and on certain sides of the boat, you're just extremely uncomfortable. So there was a person that passed out, and it's just not the best way to start your cruise. So there's got to be a better way, and somebody ought to listen to what they're doing when they're doing their extra Cuba explanations. It could be a TV time show or something. But so we basically we head to Cuba, and you have to have a separate visa which has to be taken care of beforehand. And we did have a gal, one of the gals in our group that was traveling is a travel agent. And so she actually did a lot of these things for us. So if you do have any questions, you're looking forward to going to Cuba or wanting to do this cruise or do something else, she would be amazing. She took care of absolutely everything for us from a concierge on the cruise ship. So her name is Jennifer, and so I could get you her information, and maybe I can get Jen to tag on here a link to her information too. But it was a great way, and we very much enjoyed Cuba. So, and she handled the visas and all that for us. So they do recommend that you get Cuban money. Whenever I travel, I typically do an ATM, and then I just withdraw it in that country. So I get that currency, and it's usually the lowest exchange rate. In Cuba, they don't have ATMs quite like they do everywhere else. They will take American money. There it is. It kind of varies where it is. They do an exchange rate. So we just did it that way. I wish I would have actually gotten some Cuban money because it's kind of neat, the different sizing and stuff of it. I did get 1 penny, and it's like this tiny, tiny little aluminum. It's kind of fascinating. So, but you will basically go through your customs and as you enter Cuba, and you will see I have lots of different videos. I really, really watch them. It really is neat. Cuba is a beautiful country. It is. The people are amazing. Everybody that we encountered were very hospitable. It is a very stoic country. I kind of felt like if we were ever laughing or having too much fun, that we would get in trouble. So, so it is very interesting. Then the more I've had to research to find out about how Cuba works and how their education system works, and it's just scary. So lots of the people that were on the cruise with us just obviously fell in love with people there too. And we laughed that one of them was creating a magnetic, Robin, if you're watching this is shout out to your magnetic system here. She was going to create a magnetic system that the Cubans could then put on this. Granted, I have a big bra, so that was her thoughts. But a big bra you could fill with magnets, then you could suck on and get back to the U.S. that way. So we did not advise her to take that idea to the Shark Tank, but maybe somebody on here might have a better idea for it. So we spent the day in Cuba, and then basically the cruise ship is there till the following morning or something. So you have all day into the evening. And they say it is extremely hot there, hot and muggy. It was overcast that day, which you can see in the videos. It was still very, very hot. So I would be dressed and be prepared. Make sure to drink lots of water. I get extremely sick in the heat, and so I have a very hard time with it. So try to stay hydrated. Make sure you're wearing sunscreen. We did get lots of sun when we were in the cars cruising around. You can see in the videos. A couple people warned us on a couple things that I would have never have thought to have or bring for Cuba. Toilet paper. Finding a restroom isn't the easiest, and you do need toilet paper if you find a restroom. Sometimes you have to pay, which I never have a problem paying for a restroom. I just need to go to the bathroom. Bug spray, which has been a big argument of do bugs come out in the day or the night or both. I think I always spray for bugs all the time, so that's a whole nother issue and argument. But bug spray, we didn't have any problems with bugs anywhere we were, but it was recommended. I feel like there's something else I'm leaving out on that. It was an amazing experience in Cuba to see the different things. We went to a perfume factory. One of the videos you can see below is us strolling through the streets of Havana. There's also a video that I didn't speed up that is actually of a guy. He was our driver. His name was Shrek. And Shrek was quite smitten with me, and he was just adorable. So I just had to share it. I just thought it was a quite kind of a fun insight to sometimes I get some of the craziest things said to me, and this was just one of the fun examples. So I happened to capture it on video. I was sharing that one. So I've tried to compile what I could in these videos. Let's see if there's anything else major on Cuba I wanted to point out. If you do have any questions, feel free to message me. I'm happy to answer them. We really, really did enjoy this cruise.